I'll share my screen here shortly, but we are coming on today, and I have a few of my colleagues as well, to tell you all a little bit about a new program we are launching actually in the upcoming weeks and into February, which is our Good Grazing Makes Sense program. So let me get this PowerPoint up. We seeing it okay? The Good Grazing Makes Sense PowerPoint? Awesome. Okay. So this program, Good Grazing Makes Sense, is a new program launched by SRM coming up here in, like I mentioned, just the next couple of weeks and into February. The mission of this program is, it's a program directed specifically for ranchers. The mission is through conversation and collaboration between range scientists and ranchers. It aims to provide practical, applicable, and economically feasible range management practices which would ultimately improve the productivity of land and then the bottom dollar of the ranch. A little bit of background here. The program was created out of a need to increase producer involvement within SRM and to better serve their needs. So I'll go into this a little bit further, but there is a large piece here, which is that the memberships of this program will be in coordination with partnering livestock associations. Essentially what we're looking at here with Good Grazing Makes Sense is SRM has shifted a strong focus into creating a resource that is beneficial to ranchers. As many of you are familiar, SRM has a history of providing some of the most cutting edge research technologies and management concepts. But what we felt we could improve upon is providing a resource that communicated that information in an applicable way for ranchers to actually utilize on the ranch. So Good Grazing Makes Sense aims to bridge that gap that we felt that we had within this society. So what will this look like? There's three large components of the Good Grazing Makes Sense program. The first and largest component is the informational resources that will come out of the program. Members will receive a monthly e-newsletter with content that is driven by members. And within those e-newsletters will be videos with experts out on the range. And when we say that the content is driven by members, is one of the biggest components of this is that we want to hear from ranchers on what they want to hear more about. Is there a plant that you'd like to know more about, you know, whether the grazing capabilities of it, or if there's a plant that you're worried is taking over your pastures or something like that. We can then connect with experts within SRM and bring that information forward. The next component of it is the interactive forum piece, and this is actually one of my favorite components of this program because I think it's really usable. And that is a collaborative Facebook group that will go, the content will be in parallel with the program materials, but also fosters a live interactive discussion. One of the examples that I give when we talk about this is within SRM, you know, oftentimes we'll get emails from ranchers where they'll ask a question. A good example is the other day we had a rancher reach out about a forb in one of his pastures that he was concerned about. He was worried that it was going to take over the pasture. And what we did in-house was then forward the picture that he sent onto a range consultant who then let us know what was going on, so then we could forward that onto the rancher. We're essentially cutting all those channels out, and instead that rancher can post that picture right on this Facebook forum and say, you know, what is this, what's going on? Then folks that are on that Facebook group can right there live and communicate and discuss what the photo is, what questions they may have, so on and so forth. Some of the examples that we have upcoming on some of our editions are how knowing the history of your ranch, including go back lands and things like that, how that can impact your management decisions in present day. We're looking at, you know, information on invasives, on crested wheatgrass, things like that. All of that would be housed within these informational resources as well as this interactive forum. And the last component of this is the joint membership with participating livestock associations. What that joint membership would entail is that not only do you receive all of these resources through Good Grazing Makes Sense, but members would also have access to the SRM membership benefits at a reduced rate of $50. What that means is that folks within the program would receive SRM's capital updates, they would get the reduced annual meeting rate, so on and so forth. And the thought here is that we know with a lot of ranchers, they're often involved in their county cattlemen's association or with national groups as well. And instead of having to pay so many different membership fees, what we're saying is because you're a member of this participating livestock association, we will be giving you this reduced rate to our program and to SRM's resources as well. And then I do just briefly want to point out a few things that are to come with this program as it expands. We are currently in launch phase, so the expectation is that it will grow from here, but we'll be looking at doing podcasts, doing workshops, and doing field tours. Because there's such a live component to this program, we can see that expansion would come over time with just as folks interact. So I am going to stop my screen share really quickly and play a quick video for you all. Let's see here, optimize. You know, videos are always kind of tricky, so we'll see how this goes really quick. Okay. That's coming through for you all. All right, and with that, I'm going to turn over to one of our key team members with Grazing Makes Sense, which is Dave Voth. And this program, I should have said, is very much a team effort with multiple folks. Dave being one of the folks that have been with us from the very beginning. He's going to speak a little bit from his perspective as a rancher himself and how this program is beneficial.
Thanks, MJ. So MJ reached out to me last year sometime to get involved with this program, and it really fit what That really fit my background. In 2016, after years of just cowboying around and absolutely loving it, I ended up taking a job in working for the agencies. And just because I was really good at taking care of cows, I thought it meant I was really good at taking care of grass. And I was lucky enough to get that job with the agencies and learn all those things I had no idea that I didn't know. And so to me, this is a way to reach out to producers without them having to give up on their dreams for a while and take that job in town and get this information right to them in a way that works for them. I've been really happy to be a part of this, and I've been working with Erica, who's another member of the team, to get out quite a bit more content in the coming year, and looking forward to seeing how this thing goes.
Awesome. Thank you, Dave. We also have two of our other team members here who are in charge of the content creation of the program itself. So I'll turn the floor over quickly to Kayla Walker and Erica Fitzpatrick to do a quick intro from their end and a little bit of their perspective of the program. Kayla, do you want to start us off?
Sure. Can everybody hear me all right? Okay, perfect. So as Mary Jo said, I'm Kayla Walker. I just joined the Good Grazing Makes Sense team here a few months ago, and I'm going to be helping with content creation. I'm mostly going to be putting together newsletters, kind of helping manage that Facebook group, and then hopefully as the program develops, our roles with it will grow. One thing I'm super excited about is the program benefits to myself also. My husband and I just started ranching in South Central Montana. He cowboyed in Nevada for quite a while and came back, and now we're kind of trying to do our own thing and learning as beginning ranchers that we definitely have a lot to learn about range management. So having this resource so accessible to us is nice. Like Mary Jo said, I think one of my favorite parts of the program is that it is tailored to our needs. We can ask questions and get answers in real time, and not just from range experts, but also other ranchers. As a lot of you probably know, so much education in this industry comes from just experience and sometimes learning the hard way. So hopefully through the program, we can not only connect with the SRM range scientists and consultants, but also other ranchers who have had maybe a similar experience. So hopefully, there's a lot that we can learn from it, and fostering that Facebook group will not only help us on the ranch, but help all of you guys. So I hope to meet a bunch of you through the program, and hear if anybody wants to reach out.
Thank you, Kayla. Erica, would you like to do a quick introduction if you're on still?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Erica Fitzpatrick, and I was working mostly on the video component with the team, and in the months ahead with Dave. Really looking forward to what we can come up with. And personally, I'm in the same boat as Kayla. I come from a ranching family and am now ranching with my husband and son. And yeah, we're in the same boat. I have been involved with SRM for a few years now, and I was just overjoyed and excited going to my first annual meeting, and just so not knowing that all this information was out there and so available, but yet shocked that, I looked around and there was very few ranchers in the room. And so this has kind of been a long-standing passion and discussion that we've been having for a long time of how to make this more accessible to the ranching community and to get more involvement. So I'm really excited about it and looking forward to the months ahead with the program.
Thank you, Erica. That's a general overview of Good Grazing Makes Sense. As I mentioned, it is in launching phase right now. I wanted to throw this last slide up just for a little bit more information, and then Kayla is going to drop in the chat a sign-up sheet that we have if you're interested in knowing more. But right now, we do have a website live for partners. That website is available at www.ggncpartnerships.com. That will give kind of an overview of the program and where partners can get involved, whether that be livestock associations, companies, other organizations that would be interested in sponsorship opportunities or collaborations. And then upcoming in the middle of the month, we will be going live with the membership site, which will be available at www.grazing goodgrazing.org. As I mentioned, that'll be mid of the month. We're looking around January 17th. For more, you'll be seeing a lot of this launch information coming across the SRM news channels and social media as well. And then at that time, we'll be able to actually bring folks in as members. But for the meantime, please do sign up for the contact sheet if you're interested in making sure that you get those launch materials in your inbox right away. The one thing that I will say is all present SRM members and SRM members moving forward will have access to all these resources as they come to our launch. So in the meantime, feel free to reach out to me with any questions you have, and my email is srmoutreach@rangelands.org. And with that, I'll pause for any questions anyone may have.
Yeah, Mary Jo, this is Don Henderson. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes. Hi, Don.
Hi, great idea. I support it 100%. I guess the one question I have is kind of relates to quality control. I mean, ranchers I've worked with through the years, you know, they're looking for information, but if they don't get a response very quickly, they'll lose interest, or if they don't get information that's helpful to them. And as somebody mentioned, there's a lot of information out there, some of it good, some of it maybe not applicable to that situation. How, in this program, how is SRM supporting it? Are they going to watch these dialogues, and if a rancher's not getting the answers they need, or people aren't responding, will there be an effort for them to reach out and put people in contact with different experts?
Absolutely. That's something that we always do in terms of keeping in contact with the different experts and resources we have within SRM. I do see Jack Alexander is here on the call today. He's one of our key experts in this and will be helping our team along in terms of making sure that quality control is there. And a lot of this information is coming from resources that SRM already produces. We'll be taking things like the journal articles and translating it into a language that is applicable to ranchers. In terms of one of the biggest things we want to make sure, though, is that there's that open conversation and dialogue. And a lot of that will be held on that Facebook group, and the participants in that will be the drivers of those conversations. And one thing I didn't include in this that I should have is that with the Facebook group, the Young Professionals Conclave is going to be playing a key part in that. They will be on that Facebook group making sure that interaction is happening, the interaction is positive, and that those resources are made available. I hope that answers your question, Dawn.
It does. Thank you.
Absolutely.